I'm back.
Oh man, Dan got first. Heck yeah, dude. Alright, I'm off. Oh man. How's it going, dude? Good to see you. No worries, man. That's the multi-chat app I use is a little more sensitive than even I am. Hey, Base Guru, what's up, dude? Good to see you this morning. But it's super weird. It'll censor stuff that I'm like, why are you censoring that? Like, that's not a bad word. Or in context, it's just like, it's straight like pattern matching. All good. Finish work in 8 minutes. Let's go, man. Didn't think it's for the context. Yeah, it'll ban like if a swear is a part of a word. It'll ban it. It's like, well, you made it weird.
Cheer 100, cheer 100,
Yo,
cheer
dude,
100.
Thanks for the bits, man. Appreciate it. It banned Base Guru once. Which is weird, it doesn't ban like base or part of base, you know. But I don't know. The chat bot is weird. New Twitch survey bits, let's go. Will, is that you? I mean, welcome on YouTube. I feel like there's some lurking going on there. All right. We actually have game news to talk about today. We'll go kind of quick though. I don't know how quick we'll go. We're gonna talk about AI though. That's gonna be coming. Oh, that's what. All right. Well, we're gonna talk game news this morning. That's what we're doing. We're not playing anything at the moment. But good to see everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's midweek. Christmas is next week. Sick shirt, by the way. Thanks, man. Pokemon. Yep, Pokemon. Yeah, we played ZA last night. We had some fun. Cherry Ball Z, dude. Yeah, I love DBZ. It's such a good anime. I don't care what anybody says. But anyway, I'm just kind of spacing here. We're going to be talking some game news. We got quite a few articles to talk about. Just reading chat and everything. But yeah, how's everybody doing? Good to see you. The coffee is not kicked in yet for me, so pardon the vacant expression that I'm apparently rocking right now. We're going to hit up news mode, though. That's for sure. And jump into the news cam. All right. Well, good to see everybody this morning. Hope you're all having a great morning. We've got quite a few things to talk about. in terms of actual game news, but you know, has been the trend lately. If we're not talking about layoffs, we're talking about AI. And so today is gonna be an AI discussion a little bit as we jump in with Divinity's new game. But first, let's jump into some Silksong news because we love Silksong. Even though I haven't played it yet, I'll plan on getting it. Anyway, Silksong expansion, Hollow Knight refreshed, and more. This is from Team Cherry's blog themselves. Maybe hard to read for you guys on stream, so I'll try to zoom in. It says, hey everyone, with Hollow Knight Silksong's launch year coming to a close, I want to take a moment and share a peek at what we've been working on, what's available now, and what's coming in 2026. But firstly, most importantly, we want to say a huge thank you to all the players who brave Silksong's distant and dangerous lands. That's over 7 million of you who've purchased the game, alongside millions more playing on Game Pass. It's a truly staggering number of players, more than we could ever have expected. Could have ever expected. I don't know why I can't read. I know why I can't read. Enough to crash all the storefronts. Watching the community grow, seeing the amazing art, mods, unexpected strategies, and support between players through the game's challenges has been hugely rewarding for us here at home. Your continued enthusiasm remains a massive motivator as we work towards expanding the game even further. That first big expansion is already well underway. Check out the teaser below for a hint what's coming up next. So we'll watch it. A trailer for the DLC. Hollow Knight Silksong, Sea of Sorrow. Coming next year. Pretty cool. Free for all players. So that's pretty cool, right? Like, I think it's really awesome that they are doing free DLC. Let's hope it doesn't turn out like the DLC for Hollow Knight. New areas, bosses, tools, and more. Hornet's adventures continue in our nautically themed expansion, coming free for all players next year. We'll keep further details a secret for now, but expect additional info shortly before Hollow Knight Silksong CSRO releases. Alongside Silksong's continued development, we haven't forgot about its sibling, and today we're excited to announce that we're hard at work on an updated version of Hollow Knight for the Nintendo Switch 2. It incorporates all the updates and enhancements that Silksong received on the platform. High frame rate modes, higher resolutions, and many additional graphical effects. As a Silksong, players who own a copy of Hollow Knight on Switch will be able to download the new Switch 2 edition for free when it launches in 2026. In preparation for that release, we'll be updating all versions of the original game for current platforms, adding features and fixing bugs. PC players can experience many of those updates right now in public beta branches on Steam and GOG, where they've just gone live. That includes full 16:10 and 21:9 aspect ratio support for those of you with Steam Decks or ultra-wide monitors. Check out the current list of fixes and improvements here, with more due to come before full release next year. I don't know what all of that means because I don't know like what major issues there are with the original game. And for our final surprise to celebrate Silksong's release, our talented mate Alex Colvin, Studio Taito, and our friends at Fangamer have prepared an all-new series of minifigurines depicting Hornet, her friends, and her rivals. Adorable. So that's cool. It's cool to see that Hollow Knight, the original, is getting updated. Hey, thanks for the hydrate, Denali. Good to see you in chat. It's good to see it's getting updated for the Switch 2 and not just left behind, right? Like, it's really awesome. But DLC coming to Silksong being announced, and the game is, just a few months old. That's kind of cool too. I think it's really neat to see support like that, just kind of carrying the game forward. Free updates, man. I love it. I love when a dev is able to just go, hey, here's a bunch of stuff. Look at No Man's Sky. Like, it's all just free updates. If you bought that game when it launched, you've more than gotten your money's worth. If you've enjoyed the game. If it's not your kind of, like, I don't really enjoy playing No Man's Sky, but all of the free updates make it kind of tempting because there's just so much content there, and it's insane. So I think that approach is very good for just about any indie game But it's really cool to see from Team Cherry. I can't wait to see what they got next on their plate, you know? All right, let's move forward. All right, I thought this was kind of interesting. We got the Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis, which is a reimagining remake of the OG Tomb Raider. Apparently, the difficulty will be adjusted for modern player tastes. Crystal Dynamics has revealed that Tomb Raider Legacy of Atlantis will receive a difficulty adjustment for modern players, and players might remember the original version as extremely difficult. Yes, the original Tomb Raider was hard, and that's okay. It was supposed to be. Those unaware, Game Awards 2025 is a great day for the original Tomb Raider fans, as Legacy of Atlantis was announced for 2026. It is a complete remake of the original game, built from the ground up. Now the developer has revealed that the remake might not be as brutal as the original title. During a presentation attended by Games Radar Plus, Crystal Dynamics developer Will Kerslake was asked how they would be targeting the difficulty of Tomb Raider, given all the insta-death situations and other problems players faced in the original title. Kerslake said, stating, part of reimagining a game right is adjusting that game evolving. Part of reimagining a game right is adjusting that game evolving for modern player tastes. I don't know if I agree with that. You know, I think it should stay difficult. However, that doesn't mean the core Tomb Raider experience will change, as there are puzzles in combat and traversal and death-defying action. Players will see big rolling balls, and you know the things that you expect in a Tomb Raider game are going to be there in spades. The anniversary edition of Tomb Raider also had a workaround for the original's difficulty, adding quick time events to get through the insta-kill situations. Hey, it's okay. I hope that means that the game doesn't like make things obvious or super easy, but instead maybe just plays better. I don't know. I don't know. Modern player taste is kind of weird. That's like kind of giving me concerns. Anyway. All right. Well, let's move on. I thought it was kind of cool. All right. Let's talk about Divinity. New Divinity will feature turn-based and co-op gameplay, the developers confirmed. Larian has confirmed that the upcoming Divinity game will be a turn-based title with co-op gameplay. For those unaware, during Game Awards 2025, Larian came with a surprise announcement for a new Divinity game after saying that there were no current plans for Divinity Original Sin 3. Days after the reveal, the developers have finally arrived with answers to the many questions players might have about the game. Fans of Baldur's Gate 3 will like Divinity. During a new interview with The Gamer, Larian Studios founder Swen Vinke confirmed that Divinity will feature turn-based gameplay and multiplayer. Vinke first spoke about the criticism against Baldur's Gate 3, stating that many players felt that it was Divinity Original Sin 3 as a lot of the DNA was brought to the title. However, if players liked Baldur's Gate 3, they will enjoy this one as well, as it's a turn-based RPG and it's got co-op multiplayer. That's kind of cool. Neat to see. What is the name of this one? It's just they didn't give me the name. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about it. And the reason I bring this up is because it's like they're adding, they're clarifying what the game's going to be and what you should expect from the game going in. But I think it's still a ways off. But here we have kind of our title, our big cover story. Holy F, guys, we're not replacing artists. Larian boss responds to AI backlash. So CEO Swen Vinke clarifies comments that the Divinity team is using AI for early ideation. So we've had this talk before about how AI should be used in creative endeavors, and that's pretty much anything that can be created. Code, art, whatever. My stance hasn't changed. I'm still of the mindset that AI is a tool and should be used as a tool and not as a replacement for people. But let's read the article and kind of see what's going on here. Larian CEO has been forced to respond to online backlash following confirmation that the studio is using generative AI to explore early game ideas. Speaking to Bloomberg following its big Game Awards reveal of Divinity, Vinke confirmed the studio was using AI to explore ideas, flesh out PowerPoint presentations, develop concept art, and write placeholder text, but insisted that no AI-generated content will make it into the final game, and that everyone at the company is more or less okay with the way we're using it. That doesn't sound like a bad approach, right? The comments drew criticism from players and former developers on social media, prompting Vinky to post a follow-up statement of his own. Holy F, guys, we're not pushing hard for or replacing concept artists with AI, he wrote. We have a team of 72 artists, of which 23 are concept artists, and we're hiring more. The art they create is original, and I'm very proud of what they do. I was asked explicitly about the concept art and our use of generative AI, or Gen AI. I answered that we use it to explore things. I didn't say we use it to develop concept art. The artists do that, and they are indeed world-class artists. He continued, we use AI tools to explore references, just like we use Google and art books. At the very early ideation stages, we use it as a rough outline for composition, which we replace with original concept art. There's no comparison. We've hired creatives for their talent, not for their ability to do what a machine suggests. But they can experiment with these tools to make their lives easier. In a separate statement to IGN, Vinky said Larian is neither releasing a game with any AI components, nor are we looking at trimming down teams to replace them with AI. He added, while I understand it's a subject that invokes a lot of emotion, it's something we're constantly discussing internally through the lens of making everyone's working day better, not worse. Like in most creative industries, generative AI has become a hot topic in video games, with many voicing concerns about generative AI, leading to job losses and widespread plagiarism. Steam games disclosing the use of generative AI had increased by 800% as of this summer, according to an analysis of generative AI games on Steam by Totally Human, which suggests that nearly 8,000 titles released on Steam now disclose generative AI usage compared to 1,000 a year ago. So, yes, it's everywhere, and everyone's using it, and we really shouldn't be upset. I think this is, like, the most, like, reasonable, safe approach that we've seen a studio admit to, right? Denali says, I don't understand the backlash here. I saw someone say that he's not even okay with people Googling for art inspiration in response to a question about it. I don't really get the objection. Yeah, I'm kind of... I think I wanted to highlight this is we've already, and probably like speed run record time here, we've already crossed into the overcorrection kind of reaction stage to AI, where we even get a sniff of it, and the community loses their freaking minds over use of AI in anything they like or enjoy. They assume the worst, and I get it. You know, the world's a scary place. There's a lot of bad things happening, and generally companies are looking to do things to save money or get things done faster, which does save money. You know, and the way we're reacting to people using AI in their work, in their pipelines, is concerning, right? Like, we should have questions, but we shouldn't jump off into this like hate wagon, you know, that people seem to just be all about. It's very easy to go down that rabbit hole of thinking, oh, this is the worst thing that's ever happened, when in reality, like, these guys are using it to speed up and like help like the ideation stage of this game go faster. You know, like, imagine wanting, like, you know, you want these AAA and AA studios to be able to put out games faster with smaller teams with good quality stuff. AI has got to play a part in that to some degree. You know, not as a replacement for people, but hey, help me generate the like kind of rough ideas that we're going for here. Let me visualize this before I spend time drawing it. Let's see what this could look like, you know, based on some very basic and specific prompts, and go from there. Hey, you know, like, to your comment, Denali, about Googling art for inspiration, shouldn't you? Like, if I'm designing, and I've done this for my wife's basketball team, I've done this for church announcements, I've done this for people looking to just post things on social media, where they'll ask me for something specific. It'll be a flyer, it could be a brochure, it could be a number of things. I'm going to look up how to do that. I'm going to look up what other people do to communicate their vision and see kind of like, okay, what do I like? What, what fits this project? What, like, you have to get inspired from something. Creating from nothing isn't a thing. Everything is inspired by or a reflection of something you've seen or experienced, which is how AI, kind of, obviously AI is scraping and just iterating based on predetermined inputs, right? Like we know that much. But to criticize even like using it to generate ideas, like that's weird. Should amateurs just never be able to see what's out there? Should newbies not have access to learning materials? Should experts not be able to keep up with trends? No, like that's exactly my point. Is no one creates from scratch. From true nothingness. Like isn't that what Carl Sagan said? To create an apple pie from scratch, you'd have to invent the universe. Everything comes from something else. You can't like I don't know. That's where I'm concerned about how quickly like the knee-jerk reactions online get catapulted to the top of everybody's feeds. And these reactions to AI being used in gaming is going to make a lot of people's lives way more complicated. You can't stop the use of AI. You're not going to unless there is a legal standing at this point that generative AI and large language models get banned at a like legal federal government level. There's no putting this away. There's no hiding this. This is going to be a part of our lives. It is a part of our lives, and we have to adjust to it. And there's a safe, healthy way to go about it. There's a good way to use it, and there's a bad way, and there's unhealthy ways to go about this and use AI. And we're seeing a little of both. We're seeing a lot of bad. We're assuming the worst in companies, and I don't think that's entirely unjust either, because we know that companies will historically take the least beneficial course of action for their employees most of the time. I don't know anything about Larian Studios and what I don't know if they do crunch, if they do overtime or late hours or whatever. Like I don't know. I don't know their work culture at all. But I do know that if using AI to help generate ideas a little bit faster means quicker turnaround for game production and not having to wait, I don't see a problem with that. People are still using tools, and people will continue to use tools to create. So I think it's fine. I don't think it's a big deal. I think people losing their heads over this need to be very careful and maybe check how they react to things just in general, because this sounds like an overreaction, and it very much I'll just say it is an overreaction. It doesn't sound like it. It is one. It's not healthy to be this upset over somebody using AI at an early stage in a project. I don't think it's a problem using AI late stage. Like if you are generating a dirt texture and you just didn't want to draw it, those pups are having an overreaction. Yeah, I think people are here. Sorry guys, I have dogs. They're loud and I can't control them. I have very little say in what they do. But anyway. Well, let's move on. I don't know. I like the discussions on AI lately in the game news, and this is one thing that's just like, try using AI on your dogs. Maybe I should. All right, let's move on. All right, hey, you know what we got? A marathon update. We've been talking about this game off and on, and we know that given the plagiarism and other complaints, I appreciate the ad down here. It's just unmovable. Has it been there the whole time? Anyway, Marathon devs reveal pricing, battle pass details, improvements, and more. Bungie has arrived with new details about Marathon, discussing all the improvements, reconfirming the March 2026 release window, pricing, new features, and more. Marathon and Bungie have not had the best time since the title's reveal and initial playtests, thanks to the plagiarism fiasco and all the strong player feedback. The title has been undergoing constant playtesting since then, and the developers have finally arrived with new information about their vision for Marathon. New video by Bungie confirms Marathon's March 2026 release window, reveals pricing details, provides Battle Pass information, and much more. Developers are targeting a price of $40 and will announce regional pricing closer to launch. Purchasing the title will give players full access to the base game, including free gameplay updates, new maps, runner shells, events, and more. I don't know what some of that is, but okay. Moreover, Marathon Battle Passes will never expire, which means players don't need to keep logging in due to the fear of missing out. You'll be able to purchase and unlock prior passes. That's cool. The developers have also confirmed that survival will never come down to how much money you spend, so there'll be no pay-to-win elements in Marathon. That's cool. I guess it's all cosmetic stuff in these passes. Marathon devs reveal new features and improvements. Coming to the improvements, the new vision of Marathon video on YouTube reveals all the changes the developers have made since the alpha and their plan for the game. Starting with the latest features since alpha, players will see that proximity chat and solo queue have been added. There's also a new runner shell called Rook, which is designed to let players enter matches in progress, loot a bit, and escape without too much risk. The game has also made some improvements to visual fidelity, with corpses now remaining in the match and decaying over time. Additionally, environmental storytelling has been deepened. Immersion has also improved thanks to the role audio plays. The developers have stated that audio is a major gameplay element in Marathon, with every sound serving a purpose. Wow, this is a big article. How long is this? Is this like a trailer, or is this like a deep dive? 22 minutes. Heck no. I don't even want to watch that in my free time. No thanks. Alright, well, it's cool that they're sticking with it. A lot of people aren't super hopeful for this game. It's got a lot of questions around it. Hey, Brent, good to see you. I don't know what to expect. I hope it's good, but I don't know. I'm not big on what I've seen, and so maybe I need to just watch some of the video to see what the gameplay looks like now. But I don't know. I'd like to check it out. Anyway, let's move on to some Star Wars news. Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic is likely years away from release. One of the bigger announcements of this year's Game Awards reveal was the reveal of a brand new single-player Star Wars game called Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic. And while the hype surrounding the new game was understandably strong, a release date is still likely many years away. In a new interview at StarWars.com, it was confirmed that the studio working on the game, Argonaut Studios, was formed in 2025. That was followed up with a post on Blue Sky on Friday by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, who says that a release date of 2030 could be an optimistic guess for the game. It's important to note, however, that is his guess and not an official report on it. As far as why a game would be announced so early on in development, it's often done as a way to show progress ahead of mass hiring. With tangible proof of the game progressing, it makes hiring an easier task for many development studios. So yeah, the game is still in the early stages of development and creation. More details on the game will come at a later date. We did watch the trailer last week, and I think it's going to be cool. I need to play the Knights of the Old Republic games. I'm very much looking forward to doing that. I tried them a long time ago, wasn't into it. I feel like I would enjoy it a lot more now, though. All right, but the Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic director says game will release before 2030. So that was a post on Twitter I think I saw. I guess maybe it's not here. But there it is. Yeah. Star Wars The Old Republic director Casey Hudson has hit back on the rumors and speculation that his game will not release until at least 2030. Speaking on X, Hudson said, "Don't worry about the not till 2030 rumors. Game will be out before then. I'm not getting any younger." Of course, the post was met with a lot of optimism from players, with some jokingly saying that means the game is confirmed to launch November-December 2029. Is 4 years of development doable? One of the most serious questions asked after Hudson's tweet was whether a 4-year development cycle is even feasible in this day and age. After all, Hudson's studio, Argonaut Studios, only formed in the summer of this year. And then this article goes to talk about how long games take to make. I guess that's a fair concern, but if he's saying before 2030, then that's fine. It'll be all right. If they're leveraging AI, it could be sooner. It could be 4 years. It could be 3.5 years. It just depends on the scope and vision of the game. So I guess we'll know as time progresses, as we get closer to a release date or their projected release date. Because internally, they know where they'd like to target the game. And so they're not going to put that out there because that's announcing a date way too early. I still think this game's announcement is too early. Like, it's gotten a lot of people hyped. But the hype will die down unless they give us steady updates over the next, 3 to 4 years, depending. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm still looking forward to this game. Very much looking forward to what they're going to do and the story they're going to tell. So that's awesome. 4 years from now, who knows what we'll be doing. Moving on. I thought this was cool. Switch Online expansion pack, N64 games. 2 games from Ubisoft, no less. Rayman 2: The Great Escape and Tonic Trouble, which I've never actually played this, but it's cool to see some more N64 games getting dropped in to the expansion pack. I'm hoping more GameCube games get added soon. There was some Wario World I did not expect to be added. I started playing it, and it's weird. It's weird. It's fun, though. It's got some weird gameplay mechanics to it, though. I hate the camera. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, this is cool. I like seeing this stuff get updated, so I thought it was neat. All right, let's talk about Microsoft issuing a DMCA. Microsoft protects its multi-billion-dollar IP from a fan-made, free-to-play Halo mod for Counter-Strike 2 and a DMCA takedown. Make sure to give your thanks. An automated DMCA bot flagged Project Mizraya, a non-profit Halo mod for Counter-Strike 2 that used copyrighted assets. Barely a month ago, we shared how classic Halo multiplayer was rebuilt in the Project Mizraya mod for Counter-Strike 2, with weapons, original sound effects, character models, and movement inspired by Halo 3, originally available on Steam. The project has since been flagged by Tracer AI, an artificial intelligence bot that issues takedown notices on behalf of its partners via PC Gamer. This DMCA notice specifically applies to Steam Workshop for Counter-Strike 2, which acts as a one-click modification catalog where every part of it is listed free of charge. Yes, the mod itself is totally non-profit, but the copyrighted assets were ported from Halo 3, breaking Valve's rules. Your unauthorized use of Halo game content in a workshop not associated with Halo games infringes their rights. I guess that's fair. Should non-profit mods be subject to DMCA? Well, you're still using it, so I don't know. That's a good question. Fan-made mods often walk a thin line through gigantic gray area, but can survive if the content is inspired by other games and not directly ripped from them. Replies on X point out how maps closely resembling tracks from Mario Kart appear inside Halo Infinite, but they were built with existing assets in a way that avoids legal attention, even from brands like Nintendo with a reputation for aggressive litigation. I guess that's the point. He did lift the assets from Halo and drop them directly into his mod. That's different than building, like reconstructing assets in the tools given for Counter-Strike 2 and Steam Workshop. So I guess it makes sense. I didn't read a whole lot of this article before going over it, but or before including it in the news. But I wanted to talk about it because it was like, well, why is Microsoft issuing DMCA notices for stuff that doesn't matter? But I guess legally they have to protect their IP. If they value it, I guess. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like the DMCA process. I get why it exists. I guess when it was introduced, it was a good stopgap. But the fact that we haven't iterated on this law at all to make it better and more clearly defined is frustrating. Because this guy's like, hey, I'm not making money off this, so it should be okay. And then it's like, well, it's actually not okay. It's like, yeah, but all right, I guess, So I can see both sides of this argument here. That's fair use. That's intellectual property law for you. All right, let's move on. I thought this was interesting. Warner Brothers sticking with Netflix despite aggressive Paramount bid. Latest update in the ongoing saga is here, and it seems like Warner Brothers is planning to reject Paramount Skydance's bid and stay aligned with the original agreement with Netflix. A report yesterday by Bloomberg has confirmed the board of directors at Warner Brothers are sticking with Netflix despite the aggressive Paramount bid. Paramount, how much was Paramount going to offer? Netflix offered a deal valued at $82.7 billion, equating to $27.75 a share. It was followed up last week by a counteroffer from Paramount, offering the equivalent of $30 per share. We read our report on Skydance's counterbid. After deliberating, this is the Bloomberg report, a statement from Warner Brothers. After deliberating and reviewing Paramount's bid, Warner Brothers board will urge shareholders to reject the tender offer. Said the people who asked not to be identified with discussing confidential information. The board still views the company's existing agreement with streaming leader Netflix as offering greater value, certainty, and terms than what Paramount has proposed. Basically, Paramount might not be good for the money and throw things into turmoil. Interesting, right? I think a lot of us saw this, when it dropped last week. But the Paramount saga continues, and I don't know. The fact that they're like actively rejecting it is wild. We could be curious to see Netflix going forward with this. Just very curious how that's going to turn out. All right. And then I think this is our last article. Yeah, we have an update on Elder Scrolls 6 from Todd Howard. And the update is, it's still a long ways off, but development's going well. That's pretty much it. It's in development for a long time. It was announced over 7 years ago during E3 2018, and that was a dark E3 because there was a lot of stuff announced there that we still haven't seen or has been canceled since then. It's a short teaser trailer, and we've heard very little about it since then, as much of Bethesda's development efforts were focused on Starfield. Now, though, we actually have a new update. It's progressing well. The majority of studios on 6, but I'll say this, we always overlap, so we're very used to overlapping development. And we have long pre-productions on things, so that we feel good about them. And it's a process. We all wish it went a little bit faster, or a lot faster. But it's a process that we want to get right. Howard's mention of overlapping development no doubt alludes to the fact that Bethesda is also developing more Starfield DLC. It teased the Terran Armada on social media earlier this year, alongside the Elder Scrolls 6, and has begun early work on Fallout 5 as well. That game is ages away, I'm sure, but it has been confirmed. There you go. I think it's going to be cool when it finally gets shown, but, is it going to get released as many times as Skyrim did? Highly doubt. Highly doubt. All right. Well, that's it for the game news. That's all we got. So, thanks for hanging out. A lot of stuff going on. Any of these articles, if you guys are watching this after the fact that it's live, any of these articles you want to discuss, drop a comment on YouTube and let me know what you think. I'm still in the same camp I am with AI. There's a correct way to use it, and I'm not offended by other people. Not offended by studios using AI responsibly and fairly. Hey, you're welcome for the stream to know. Let's find somebody to raid, and then I'm going to go get to work, I suppose. I see a lot of you here. Thanks for hanging out in the mornings, by the way, guys. It's very much appreciated. These morning streams are some of my favorites. All right, who are we sending this to? Let's send it to Redfire Trevor. He's playing Arc Raiders. Super cool Christian streamer dude. Has a massive community. Alright. Love y'all. We'll see you soon. Oh, Will, you hit a 7 stream streak. Way to go. Congrats. I love you guys. We'll see you soon. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. But anyway. Adios.
Chrono with the rate of 4. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you so much for sharing your community. How was your stream and what were y'all streaming today? If you guys are